Okay, welcome to the third video in my extensive tutorial playlist here. This is the club overview instructions. I'm just going to quickly talk about page layout before we start. Most of the sheets you see here in this rule set are going to look like this. You've got your abilities over here at the top. The ones you own are colored, obviously, and the ones you don't are black and white. Right below that, you'll always have your abilities. So what your club can and can't do. Anything in gray means that you either don't own it or it doesn't affect you. And anything in green means you are affected or you do own it. There's plenty of tooltips for you to understand what these things exactly mean. And obviously the things in yellow denote what is going on. So for preseason tour, do I have it? Yes. For sponsorships, how many do I have? We've got one. Over on the left-hand side here, you've got your link to the video tutorial as well as the instructions. First and foremost, the instructions, which you absolutely need to read because they tell you what's going on in the rule set and what you need to do in-game. So you definitely want to click these links for these PDFs. Obviously, you can zoom in and you're going to want to read these and follow the instructions. Now, below these are less important for your information links. They're formulas or tier lists that you can refer to. And if you want to get to know the game better and what's going on behind the scenes, by all means, you can figure out what's going on. I hopefully explained it well. It's here for you, and it will always be here on the left-hand side. Now, specifically when it comes to the club overview, this acts as a preseason sheet and as a general information sheet. So you have all your information, overalls, you've got your league, what international competition you're in, your prestige, your market size, your stadium, all that. And then you've got your inputtables on the bottom over here. And the first thing you're going to want to input is beginning of the season finances. So right when you see this club overview page, right when you finish your CoreDNA is when you can actually proceed into your career mode. You can go past the preseason tournament page, and it's because you actually know if you have a preseason tournament that you're going to be playing in, which means you can then input winnings over here. Now, before all that, you go to your finances tab and you find out what you're currently paying your players and how much starting budget you have. So in Everton's case, we are paying our players 1,911,000. I'm actually playing on euros, so that's why it's a little bit higher than you would have it in pounds. Now the starting budget is 54,968,728 euros. So once you input this, these numbers are then applied to the rest of the sheet, specifically the finances page, and that's how your finances will sort of be allocated each season. Be different percentages taken from these numbers or different percentages applied to these numbers in the case of wages. Now, once you finish your preseason tournament and you know exactly how much winnings you have, you don't input it into the finances sheet. You input it here into the winnings section. Let's say we won 2 million. That's how much we have in terms of winnings, and that will update the finances sheet as well. Once you finish your budget, you will move on to your primary and secondary sponsor if you have one. Now, everyone has one sponsor and they'll be able to choose whether or not they have any traits. So first you pick the actual sponsor, and by that I mean it's just cosmetic in terms of who you're sponsored with, Adidas, Bayer, whoever. Let's say we pick Nike. And then you select the bonus, which is what your sponsor actually gives. And there's 4 different types of, I'll call it revenue streams that open up. Extra money, prize money, merchandising, ticket revenues, or selling markup, which means you get more when you sell your players. That's what we're going to pick in this case. And then you move on to the different club functions you can pick. And a lot of the times you won't be able to because they're locked behind traits. But in this case, we actually picked Reach for the Stars, the 5-star development trait. And what this is essentially you can think of it as a football academy that is very renowned, and players like coming to your football academy, but only players of a certain position, because you really develop strikers well and they want to come to your club. So what you do here is it tells you select your position, let's say attackers. So this ability now changed from unassigned to yes, and you now have your buying page updated with a bonus towards signing attacking players under 23. All the club functions are picked in a very similar way, and they have little icons that appear that let you know that you have them actually picked. And again, anything that is red, you have to address. We addressed it, and now it changed to green. If everything is green, you are free to move on. And that is basically how the club overview page works.